real motion getter. Stay in motion. Gonna keep that motion. We gonna stay on top. $1 million nigga. $1 billion nigga. This is not no cap talk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Stay in motion. Stay in motion. Motion Mondays. Motion Mondays. Authority. I'm out for presidents to represent me. Get money. Dead President's Day, baby. What's the word? What's the word? What's the deal? We in here. We in here. Yep, let me get some things right. Wake it up. Wake it up. Wake it up. Y'all know what Motion Monday is. We're going to stay in motion. We're going to pick our vibration up so we can shift our energy and stay in motion. That's what it's all about, baby. Because without motion, there ain't no adventure. Without no adventure, there ain't no aha moments. So how do you pick yourself up? Raising your energy up, transforming your energy into a more high vibrational spirit. So then you can be in spirit, which is inspiration, and just be moving in motion. So wake it up, baby. Wake it up out there. I know some of y'all is off President's Day. I know, I get it. Shit, but we still gonna wake this energy up. Let me play this real quick, because this nigga's been coming through. He been coming through heavy, y'all. I don't know what it is. This nigga Prince been coming through heavy. So, hey, you know, I gotta follow spirit and just let this nigga ride. Here we go. Check it out. Prince is definitely coming through because now that I think about it, K. Dot said, what did he say? Prince outlived Mike Jack. That nigga Prince is coming through heavy. He been coming through for me lately anyway. Now that I'm putting two and two together, nigga, that Drake album was trash, boy. What the hell was that? I really got a good listen to it because I just jumped to the songs that everybody was talking about. And now that I think about it, Drake trying to represent Mike Jack, and then Prince representing K. Dot. Hey, something is in the air, baby. Something is in the air. And, you know, Mike actually, you know, later on in his career, because he grew up in the system, so he just kind of followed status quo. And Prince just always been this revolutionary figure where he was just doing his own thing, this rebellious spirit, you feel me? Because he was just that talented. Mike was talented too, but Prince was another level of talent like we'd never seen, you know what I'm saying? Which is a beautiful thing. And then we got to look at it because there's some talented people like Jamie Foxx is one, Prince, Chris Brown. They had this innate ability to make things happen. They could play all the instruments and shit. So Prince been coming through heavy lately, and Prince is, you know, a symbol of rebelliousness and a symbol of doing your own thing, being your unique divine individual self. There ain't no way. Look at this nigga again. Hold on. Let's show this nigga again, because this nigga crazy. How in the world did a dude look at this nigga? You gotta be different. There ain't no way. He pulled this off early in the 90s, 80s. He said, nah, I'm dressing how the fuck. You know that nigga was in the mirror, boy. That's that divine. He got that divine feminine and masculine energy in his shit. That nigga was like, shit, fuck it. I wear high heels on y'all hoes. And y'all ain't gonna fuck with me. Ha! Chaos in the blood, baby. You know you got to be a special being to be this nigga Prince. Shout out to the God. So yeah, Motion Mondays. Let's get it on. Let's go straight to it. Y'all know on Motion Mondays, what I do is play my Instagram, and when we just dive deep into it. You feel me? I see y'all out here. Shout out to the family. Shout out to the gods. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend. D-Ray and I, we hit the scene. We had basically the whole weekend without our kids. So we was up every night. Feel me? We went to a speakeasy one night. Went to a bar another night, a club another night. We was up. We was just doing it like we respond. You know, all of y'all that would know that the kids thing. When you get a chance to drop them boys off and you get a chance to hit the scene, shit, you got to take full advantage. So we was up. You feel me? We was up the whole weekend. We did it all. Shout out to all the Lovers Days out there, all the people out there with that Lovers Days. Titus said Baphomet energy. Yeah, definitely. That nigga Prince was a whole nother level of genius. And like I said, he's been coming through for me heavy. And now that I'm realizing it, it's just a representation of K Dot actually doing his thing and the spirit we're in anyway. See, I titled this Author-ity. Author-ity, and authority is basically the president. So even when we think about President's Day, right, and the president of these United States, so right now, right, and what he's doing, he's basically just being a whole chaotic god right now. Like, nigga, I just seen him sign another executive order. First, he signed in RFK, which you know that boy gonna be honest and do his thing with whatever he has to do to make sure that, you know, whatever we're putting in our system is good for us or whatever. You feel me? At the best way he can. So that Kennedy is coming through because the first Kennedy was a rebellious spirit, right? And Trump representing this chaos sphere energy, and Elon, it's a beautiful thing and we got to embrace it. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, he's not trying to do any handouts. Like, nigga, y'all just going to have to figure it out and go for yours, which is what we want to see. Because at the end of the day, you don't want people to just be giving you stuff. The free lunch mentality. You feel me? Because if they give you something, that means they have some kind of invisible ownership over you that you don't even know, or there's a price at the end. So now you have to be able to, you know, do for yours, kill your own food. And the beautiful thing about what Trump is doing is when he does eradicate the whole system, essentially, nigga, melanin people is going to rise to the top. Because again, melanated beings, when our body is in stress, right? Pressure makes a diamond. When our body is pressurized, we become a gem. So then we start having more motion, start being the authoritative figure of our world, and start moving with a different vigor and violence that we want to have. Because at the end of the day, you know, some of y'all, this is y'all lives go around. So you might as well go out with the balls of fire in this bitch. That's what Trump is doing. This nigga 77. He's like, nigga, I'm about to watch this, nigga. And that's what we want to see. He just signed an executive order for the CBDCs to not come into the fold. So that's the central bank's money, digital currency, that's trying to still watch how you make money and shit. So with him signing that, like, nah, y'all can't, we're not even gonna let this go through. With him signing that, that's a beautiful display of him saying, hey, I'm for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Let's see who just rises to the top. And I put everything that melanated people will rise to the top when they just get that little amount of pressure on them where there ain't no handouts. Yeah, you nigga, you got it. What? You think you're going to be in Section 8 for 8 years? God damn. Niggas want to sit in that Section 8 for 8 years. I had an ex-girlfriend. She was on that Section 8. She didn't have no kids or nothing. I don't know how the hell she got it. She was on the Section 8. Nigga, I don't know how she got it. no kids, nothing. And she was paying a small amount. And then when it was time to re-up and stuff, she would have like an attitude and shit, like, man, what the fuck? And shit, back then, I was drugged out. So, it was all good to me. You feel me? Nigga, you gotta pay to play. This is part of the world that we live in. You feel me? That's in everything in life. It's all about energy. So you gotta pay to play regardless. You feel me? All them boys, don't let them fool you. They don't got no rent, no car note. They hitting the scene and shit. They be in Miami kicking it because they don't got no bills. They like, I'm gonna just stun on niggas real quick. You feel me? That type shit. I want to read this real quick. 50th Law. The 50th Law by 50 Cent. It's talking about authority and this whole energy of authority. So it was funny. We had read this in the Patreon the other day. I can't remember why we read it. Oh, because 50 was doing all that wild shit. And that nigga, that BMF series was a good show. I still think, like I was telling the Patreon family, I still think it might be a play for him to just bring attention to himself, but to himself and the show, because I don't think it's just going to be canceled. Now, if it is, then so shall it be. But this is essentially why 50 Cent is canceling the show and, halting Little Meech and all the actors and all the people that was going to be able to work on the show with him. Even though I think it could have been lucrative for 50, right? So we'll see. I don't think he's going to really cancel the show, but we'll see, you know what I'm saying? And if he did, so shall it be, because look, authority, what is authority? So remember, you are the president of your United States of mind. Your state of mind, you got to be the president of it. You got to be the authority, the author of your mind. So now it's important for you to observe your thoughts and see how you want to move in this thing by looking at yourself greater than somebody that needs to get handed out stuff. You feel me? So as you can see in the air, especially with Prince coming through for me anyway, and then Trump, Kendrick, right? All of these different signs of rebelliousness and hey, do your own thing and hey, figure it out, creative energy. You feel me? Like all of these different signs and synchronicities showing that it's time for niggas to move into a space of owning the ground that they walk on. Now it's just going to be more prevalent that you change your energy and change your mindset about it and start moving in a direction of power. It says, we live in times of great mistrust of any form of authority. Some of this springs from envy of those who have power and have achieved something. Some of it comes from experience with people who abuse their position of power to get their way. So, sometimes people can just hate on people because they're in a position of power, right? And then some people we understand, like the Bidens and the Kamalas of the world and all the Obamas of the world, right? They were just like puppets. So they didn't have no backbone. They just was following a script that was keeping a certain group of people in limbo, melanated people in limbo, inferior, so they can be the working class. Because that's all the schools and all the system is about. See, when Trump is talking about canceling the public education system, that's important and that's good. Because again, y'all are believing that y'all are learning in these public school systems, but they're actually training you to be workers. And it doesn't have anything to do with what they're teaching. It's just they want to make sure that you move, stay in motion. in a job, at a job. So when the teacher or the boss of these 20 students tells their kindergarten, okay, line up, hold each other's hands, right? That's the beginning of it. Let me see if I can take them from this spot to this spot, right? Then you get older, third grade, just line up in a straight line, stop, walk. You know, you eat lunch at this time. Oh, we're going to art at this time. Then middle school, same thing. Now you got a little bit more independence, but you still got to go to a certain spot in 5 minutes or less. Then you eat lunch at this time, you get out at this time. Then high school and so on and so forth. So understand that the way that you're moving in these public school domains is just prepping you to move the same way at a job, right? And it's a mirroring effect. So when you see these rich children going to private schools or no school, like Jaden and Willow Smith, you think they went to school? That nigga had a big ass black mansion on his head. That nigga thinking for himself, no matter how silly that shit might look. He's like, man, I'm just about to do my own thing. Fuck what they talking about. Sure enough, it looks silly, but hey, at least he's free of mind to put that goofy ass thing on his head. When you see these kids like kind of moving with their own spirit and just trying to figure their own thing out and never really have no space of a job mindset per se, right? Because they're not thinking, okay, how do I get a job? First, their first thing they're thinking is, okay, what can I do to create a business, or how do I be able to sustain this energy, or what does my passion speak in, and how can I sell this passion? That's a mindset, and you want to train your kids for that same particular mindset, because at the end of the day, we know it, you know, jobs are going to cease to exist eventually. And, you know, maybe the universal basic income might come in, but that's still just a handout. What does that come with? Okay, it says, in any event, such distrust makes it harder and harder to be a stronger and effective leader. Under the sway of this leveling force, you yourself might be tempted to act with less authority, to be more like everyone else, or to make yourself likable. This will only make your job that much harder. Instead, it is better that you see the whole concept of authority in a different light. And here it goes. We're going to break down the word authority. The word authority comes from the Latin root author, meaning author, a person who creates something new. Okay, so you're the author of your life. Meaning author, a person who creates something new, creating something new, creating something new. This could be a work of art, a new way of operating in the world. That's an important one. A new way of operating in the world, or new values. Okay. The health of any society depends on those who infuse it with such innovations. These works or actions by individuals give them credibility and authority to do more. The great Roman general Scipio's Africanus the Elder invented a whole new style of warfare in the campaign against Hannibal that was tremendously successful. This gave him the authority to lead the campaign itself and later to launch a political career. For the Romans, if you simply acted as if your position entitled you to certain powers, you lost your authority. You are no longer an author, a contributor, but a passive consumer of power. You want to be the leader of your life, and you want to be the authority in your life to move how you feel like moving. Now, obviously, you know, you got to start somewhere. So understand that everybody's starting from a different vantage point. But at the same time, at the end of the day, with the internet and social media and all these new ways to bring forth energy towards you, you just need to be able to look at it in a vacuum and say, okay, How can I utilize these different vehicles to run my passion and then bring forth energy towards me? As a leader, this is how you must view yourself as well. You are an author creating a new order, writing a new act in some drama. Yes, sir, this is all 50. You never rest on your laurels or past achievements. Instead, you are constantly taking actions that moves the group forward and brings positive results. That record speaks for itself. Despite the spirit of the times, people have a secret yearning to be guided by a firm hand, by someone who knows where they are going. It is distressful to always feel distracted and wondering. The members of your group will give you the respect and authority you require if you earn it as an author and creator. In the end, if people mistrust and resist your authority, you really have only yourself to blame. Chaos in the blood, baby. So understand you're the author, you're the authority in your world, so you can create and rebuild stuff as you see fit. All right, let's jump into this Instagram build so we can actually see what spirit through divination is giving us through Instagram. And y'all know my Instagram is off the chain. It's off the chain. So
in the morning and that is nice. We believe that the ocean and the tide will be there and the moon. We believe the grass will grow. We believe that our food will digest. And who is there who knows how any of these things happen? Just believe. And it will be done unto you. It seems too good to be true, doesn't it? And you and I will never know until we try. When you pray.
Okay, that's good. So this man right here is saying believe. So, you know, belief is the lie that you're telling yourself every day. So now remember that in the middle of belief is the lie. So you're telling yourself a lie. So you believe that you're going to breathe every day. You believe that, you know, you're going to be able to walk every day and all of this other stuff. You believe you're going to see. So now just transfer that into a belief system that moves you into excitement, pleasure. Pleasure is a big thing. Real pleasure is a huge thing. And just understand that that belief that you're running into over and over and over again will sustain your adventure. But if you don't start and see it that you can be it, then essentially you're going to always be whatever you were programmed to be as a child. So there's a lot of people that don't believe, they believe they can't do nothing but have a job. And so shall it be. You feel me? There's people that magnetize money and says, hey, this money is going to come to me. And they believe that within their heart, wholeheartedly in their heart. And essentially stuff and opportunities come to them. Situationships come to them. You feel me? So that's a belief system that they have indoctrinated in their being that moves them into different places and spaces, right? Think about that pretty privilege with the females and shit. They believe without a shadow of a doubt that their bills is gonna get paid, and shit. Some of them don't gotta put out. They just like, nigga, I just know. You feel me? And they're just moving in that kind of spectrum of thought, which gravitates more and more energy towards them because of, you know, the superficial, their looks. All right, let's keep it
You
rolling.
cannot write down right now on a piece of paper, this is what I want. If you can't list them, this is what I want, then you can't have it. Because your mind will get for you what you want, but you have to feed it a vision of what you're looking for. The function of the mind is to make coherence between your belief and your reality. If I believe it's not going to work, then the function of the mind will manifest in a situation where it doesn't work. If I totally believe this is how it's going to work, then my mind will set me up in a situation where it works that way. And all of a sudden, that's when you start to realize, wait a minute, it's not chance anymore. This isn't chance. This is creativity. And we are creators. If you cannot write.
That's good. And that writing down, he said a lot there. That writing down is important because you're bringing it from the fourth dimension to the third dimension. And then you can actually see how strong your belief system is inside of you based off of what you're writing down. Because some people might say, hey, I want to write down, I just want a higher position in my job. You feel me? Some people might write down, I want to see my passion come to life, whatever your passion is, and sell my arts to millions of people in the world. So now it's just up to you and your own mindset. You feel me? And something he said at the end. What did he say at the end? Hold on, it was important. Let me see. What did he say at the end?
Down right now on a piece of paper, this is what I want. If you can't list them, this is what I want, then you can't have it. Because your mind will get for you what you want, but you have to feed it a vision of what you're looking for. The function of the mind is to make coherence between your belief and your reality. If I believe it's not going to work, then the function of the mind will manifest in a situation where it doesn't work. If I totally believe this is how it's going to work, then my mind will set me up in a situation where it works that way. And all of a sudden, that's when you start to realize, wait a minute, it's not chance anymore.
Okay, so that's important because, again, how do you establish this belief system in the mind heavy enough, strong enough that it overrides your current thought processes? Now, I can tell you from experience, the way I did it was simply every day, repetitiously, every day, meditating consistently over and over and over again, right? To shatter that old paradigm of belief that put me in a subservient space. Then also auto suggestions. Heavy every day. Hearing myself speak into existence a certain level of adventure I want to see carry out. Then one day I woke up and I was entrepreneur and didn't have to worry about particular the daily struggles of the day. You feel me? So now, you know, I'm putting myself in that kind of vibrational zone. So yes, that means I move a little bit more assertively, aggressively, and I keep on staying in motion based off of me just jumping on this YouTube or jumping on Patreon every day. But back then I wouldn't have did that shit. You feel me? When I first started YouTube, that shit was hard for me to jump on this bitch. Like, oh, okay, what am I? You know what I'm saying? Like, you damn near in a conundrum with yourself. But since I auto suggested my mind to move in that particular adventure, then all of a sudden I wake up one day and so shall it be. And then I'm here. So I want to encourage the family, auto suggestion will shift your belief system. And meditation, you can meditate on your future self every day. And eventually what will happen is that future self will start working itself out in the reality to make it happen and to bring forth that reality. It could be as simple as you might get fired and you're not even understanding why you got fired. You're like, damn, I lost my job. I was damn. But that might be a good thing because now it's going to apply what? Pressure to your being. And now all of a sudden that pressure creates a diamond. And then you look up a year from now and say, damn, I'm glad I lost that job. See, what if Doshi never lost that job 5 years ago? and she was still at Chipotle doing her thing. Nigga, could you imagine? We would have missed out on so much art that she brings into the fold. Oh my God. That's actually scary when you think about it. 5 years ago, she was working at Chipotle. She got on YouTube and said, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna just go for mine. I don't know what spirit gonna have intel for me, but she got on YouTube and said it 5 years ago. And essentially, she just won a Grammy just last month. First album, rap album of the year. As a rookie in the rap game. So some of y'all might have hidden talents that's inside of you that y'all are wasting on Chipotle, on brown rice and chicken with the veggies and shit, with the cheese. Sprinkle a little cheese on that bitch. You getting mad at me because I'm pulling up every day to Chipotle, grabbing me a plate. And I'm let me stop. And I'm telling you, nigga, make sure you give me that what's that honey vinaigrette sauce. 2 of them. You mad because you got to walk to the back and grab it. Give me my damn honey vinaigrette. I need that so my shit can be smacking. I'm a big nigga. Yes, I got 2 plates. I got a bowl and a burrito. I need not 1, but 2 honey vinaigrettes. And actually, you know what? Matter of fact, go get another one. Shit. You feel me? You get hey, you can't get mad at me because I love to eat. You feel me? Just make sure you get that honey vinaigrette and make sure it's right. And I'm watching you while you go get it. Because I see the attitude you have when I'm telling you that, hey, I need 2 of them hoes. Chaos in the blood. Let me stop playing with y'all. Let's see what else we got on this Instagram street.
Your potential is determined by how much uncertainty you're willing to embrace. It's
damn. What? That motherfucker came on and said a word. He said your potential is determined on how much uncertainty you're willing to embrace. Oh my God, you never gonna know, and that's the scary thing about it. You not gonna, though she didn't know. She didn't know she was gonna win a Grammy 5 years from now. She said that uncertain. She was like, damn, I'm just gonna just do me. Nigga, in that video, she said, man, I just want this music to just pay my bills. Nigga did more than that. Now she gonna be the next superstar artist. You feel me? It's gonna be Doechii and Glorilla for the next few years. And Lotto. Now Cardi gonna have to make some kind of grand something. She gonna have to shift something because I don't know, the music, that sound has changed. And you know, if it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuck. She gonna have to get way more creative. Then she gonna have to do something. God damn.
easy to stay within your comfort zone, where everything feels familiar and predictable. But true potential lies beyond that, where risks are taken, where challenges are faced, and where you step into the unknown. The more uncertainty you're willing to embrace, the more opportunities you create for yourself to evolve, learn, and achieve things you never thought possible. So, start that project you've been holding back on. Take that first step, no matter how small, and remember that everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear.
That goddamn NBA All-Star game was trash, boy. I'm sitting here watching that bitch yesterday. I said, oh my God, they done fucked this bitch all the way up. I thought it was going to work too. At first, I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. Tournament style, 40 points. You know, it might be a little bit more competitive because boys want to get to the championship, whatever. Right? Nigga, I was watching that bitch. I said, oh, nah, that shit is not going to work because nobody still doesn't care about playing. LeBron didn't even want to play. That nigga made something up. That nigga said, nah, I ain't going to play. Fuck it. He said, nah, y'all got it. He must have seen, he had the vision already that shit was going to be trash. And sure enough, it was. But the beautiful thing about the NBA is that they're not afraid to make mistakes. The commissioner, right? Like, hey, let's try it. We got to try something. Our ratings is down. Nobody ain't really watching this All-Star game. Nigga, they eat so bad. So much so, I was proud of the commissioner. That nigga brought back in Kevin Hart. So that nigga said, we got to do something to get our ratings back up. So when you see that, you know what I'm saying? It's the level of uncertainty, the level of trial and error, the understanding that, hey, everything ain't going to be peaches and cream. Is not going to look pretty all the time. But as long as you're tweaking stuff and seeing what works and trying to figure out, you know, a formula that will bring forth a level of more and more energy back to the game, then that's the key. So I was proud of that for the NBA and the commissioner for doing that. But that they're gonna have to go back to the drawing board because that shit was garbage. And how, you just got to see what they're going to have to do is figure out how they get millionaires, multimillionaires to want to play in a game where they so like each other. You know, it's like they, you know, they're still in the NBA, they're still competing and stuff. They love their teammates. So it's like you got to figure out how to get them on board to compete. So they're going to have to drop. I don't even know if they can throw money at it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you can do. Really, there might there's something you can be done, but I was just glad to see that they was moving in that particular direction, right? Now, on the flip side of constantly creating, right? Sometimes you got to just take a step back all the way and sit your motherfucking ass down and meditate. And that's what Drake needs to do. Because I can't believe this nigga tried to pull off. I see for just for the thought, and this was me in my heart, I'm like, oh, okay, Drake must got some fire because he coming after Valentine's Day behind K Dot in the Super Bowl. I said, oh yeah, that boy must have some heat. Nigga, that Drake album came and went, boy. That shit didn't even last a day. Niggas listened to that shit and was like, oh, nah, this is not it. I think I like 2 songs on that thing, maybe 3. But the problem is I'm not going to go back to none of them hoes. So sometimes you can be rushing based off of you trying to just show out and shit. And really, you need to sit your bitch ass down, Drake. Sit down, relax. God damn, if that nigga go into a dark room and sit his ass down, he'll be all right. But that nigga ain't willing to sit down. So sometimes you can have too much motion. See, sitting still is very, very important in the process of mental alchemy, which is the meditation, which is sitting in dark rooms, which is spiritual baths, all of that good stuff, right? And if you are constantly on the go, then you're never in the space of observing yourself because you're constantly trying to absorb everybody else's energy and appease everybody else and shit. So I thought Drake made a grand mistake by dropping that album so bad. So much songs, so bad. On Valentine's Day, knowing K Dot is his time to shine. Sit your ass down, boy. Step back and breathe. Like, you gotta be able to go into the lab and relax. My God. It's just so bad. Such bad team. Team is bad. They must be a whole bunch of yes men, because I would have told that boy straight up, hey, look, let's relax, my guy. But you probably can't even tell a nigga shit like that, because his ego's so damn inflated, he think he can just come back and pull it off. Didn't work. Relax. So, that's an important aspect of this thing. We want to also understand that sitting still is just as important as motion, right? But then what I'm seeing a lot of times in this spiritual thing, when people are doing the work, they just sitting still completely. And they ain't having no sense of motion. And then they trying to figure out, okay, well, why ain't things coming my way? Well, that's because you're not outside, my guy. You got to get hit by something to have things thrown at you. You sitting yourself in a room, locked in the room. Now you're not outside. You ain't even in the mix. God dang, you got to get outside, baby, to see what you can see. I told y'all about my homeboy. He was struggling heavy, right? Struggling, but he had one thing going for him. He had a mouthpiece, you feel me? So he used to be outside. Sure enough, slowly and sure enough, he pulled himself a millionaire goddess, got her in Cali. And now he just living out his life and now this nigga made a record studio and everything. That shit crazy. That boy just made a whole record studio. All of that shit, just creative stuff. You feel me? That nigga used to be hurting real bad. Hey, it's not about what you know. Sometimes it comes down to who you know as well. You feel me? Here we go. Let's keep it rolling.
If you could train your brain to think ahead of your environment, to imagine a future that hasn't happened yet, and make it so real in your mind that your body begins to respond to it as if it's already real, how much power would you have to change your life? Let me tell you something. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a real life event and what you're vividly imagining. And that one simple truth can transform your life. Today, I want to teach you how to trick your brain into creating a future of unlimited success. Let's start with something most people understand: repetition. Think about a musician learning a new piece of music, or an athlete practicing a skill. What do? They repeat it over and over. That repetition wires circuits in the brain. Over time, it becomes easier, more natural, more automatic. This is what we call physical rehearsal. The beauty of physical rehearsal is that it transforms the unfamiliar into the familiar. When you pick up a guitar for the first time, it feels awkward. Your fingers don't know where to go. But after weeks, months, or years of practice, you don't even have to think about it. Your hands instinctively know the notes. This is how the brain works. It thrives on repetition. But here's the thing. Physical practice alone isn't enough to reach extraordinary levels of success. It's the first step. But what separates the good from the great, the average from the exceptional, is something far more powerful: mental rehearsal. The greatest athletes, musicians, actors, they don't just practice physically. They also practice mentally. Before they ever step onto the field, the stage, or the court, they sit down and rehearse the act in their mind. They imagine every move, every note, every step in vivid detail. Why? Because science tells us that when you mentally rehearse an action, your brain can't tell the difference between what's happening in the real world and what you're vividly imagining.
Okay, that's good. That's sounds like Joe Dispenza. I think it is. And if y'all need help with that, we just got through reading Becoming Supernatural, Joe Dispenza in the Patreon. And essentially, yeah, it's right on point, right? And you know, he goes into real deep detail about this mental rehearsal and just seeing yourself as a winner over and over and over again. You feel me? Breathing techniques, gland work, chakra work. Yeah, he went pineal work. You feel me? It was a very good book. And you know what I'm saying? It helps you get to a space of controlling your energy and then controlling your deeper thoughts that manifest as, you know, low vibrational situations in this world, or unfortunate situations that you don't want to see happen. So that repetitious nature of practicing over and over, body language, we talked about that. That repetitious nature of practicing that over and over and over again in your mind's eye is going to put you in a winning position eventually. You just got to be able to be determined. And really, you don't even need no determination, because after a while, it just becomes fun. It actually is fun. You going into your lab every day is fun. Because what starts to happen is, as you're seeing yourself as this winner in your mind's eye, then things starts to, channels and downloads starts to come to you. And then you know how to move next. You feel me? Or you know what situationship to go into. So it's not a logical thing where that's happening. Some of this stuff is just spiritual, and you start just moving with a different level of God. Like me showing y'all that Prince at the beginning of this thing. Nigga, that nigga, like, how did this nigga say, you know what? I'm gonna be you gotta be a different nigga to be Prince. Trust and believe. You know, he got his damn symbol was the Ankh. So obviously he tapped into his divine feminine, divine masculine energy and just really went for his. And he added stuff to his shit. What y'all talking about, man? What y'all talking about in these comments? Well, Dreamwise really don't like Drake. Nah, I fuck with Drake. That nigga, that shit. You know, I just don't like the moves he been making lately. Seems like he's in a rushed energy, and I don't like rush. That whole rush thing is trash. You know what I'm saying? You got to slow this thing down. Let's be more play and strategic. How about that? Like even with Big Meech, I don't think he rushed the situation when he jumped in with Rick Ross, but I think he didn't really understand the pettiness of 50. So I thought Big Meech should made a grandioso misstep by not just, it wasn't the picture, it was what he did after that. He should have just went to 50 and said, hey, look, because you know, you got to be able to what they say in the 48 laws of power, appease the boss's ego, essentially. Don't look bigger than the boss, right? And if he's the one that's cutting the check, appease this nigga ego. Oh man, nah, he had you know, you got to come up with something. Now you done squandered your son's check. Shit, nigga, they canceled your whole concert based off of this nigga 50. That nigga a powerful ass nigga. You feel me? So if you can understand the psyche of egoic individuals like 50, right, who is still strategic too, you got to just understand that to the core fully and step back and make a better play than just coming for him like he chump or something. I nigga cut off everybody, and then he don't give one fuck. It says, Youngin says, I'm in your partner position, laughing loud. How can I get outside more? How can I get outside more? If I'm in your partner position, laugh out loud, how can I get outside more? Shit, you gotta just go. See, that's what I'm saying. The outside is not a thing that just you forcing. You in spirit, so you move accordingly. And outside doesn't mean you go outside and get things done. Outside could be online. You feel me? Like we got in the Patreon, we be building every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday together, kumbaya and shit. And essentially, we building relationships with like-minded individuals that might have different plays and understandings that shift us into a whole nother world. So my homegirl Pacho was on there, and my bro God Ike was on there yesterday. Was that yesterday? That was Saturday, dropping on the crypto, the future, and a whole bunch of other stuff that I wasn't really privy of, especially with that crypto shit, because I'm just using it as an investment to change the fiat. But boom, they putting down some game. Now I'm soaking up the game. Now that makes me more dangerous and violent. You feel me? Just by being in a group of like-minded individuals that can bounce ideas off of each other, and now all of a sudden we can spundulate this thing into another level of God. Yeah, I might be the forefront person of this group, dream-wise, but that doesn't mean that there's not other individuals that will spiritually align to me, so we can create our world in a particular manner and way that brings forth wealth and prosperity and freedom. So I want to encourage the family to understand to the core, right? Like a lot of this stuff is like I got a Caucasian female coming on next week, Lindsay, and she dropped on the sacred geometry 1. She's gonna do part 2 to bust that whole thing open. Then we got Yosef coming in March, because we're trying to bring forth the new year, the spring new year energy, to unravel another level of springing forward into this 2025 year and beyond. So I want to encourage the family, like, you don't got to physically go outside. Shit, online is popping. Know how many groups, communities they got out here? My bro guy Yosef got a Patreon. I got a Patreon. My bro guy Travis got a group. I don't know. It's not Patreon. It's something else. This boy, my bro guy Oni, got a thing. And me and Oni supposed to do something soon. Once we just sit down and just actually do it. So, you know, there's boys out here that got these private groups where, you know, you can have this group think thing, like I was telling y'all last year. And these group thinks is actually you going outside and just being even in the groups, if you just sit there and be a sponge and just listen in, you can pick up on some things that will shift your mind and put you in a whole different level of genius that will help you in your adventure. So, hey, I want to encourage the family. Hey, it's 2025. It's time, baby. It's go time. We up. You feel me? So, shit, motion is just as simple as you turning on your computer sometimes and getting down with the get down. Hold on, let's keep it rolling. My bro God and Pooh got a Patreon. You feel me? They doing their thing. Hold on, let's keep
it. Never happens on your time, like when you think you're ready. Like it's supposed to happen. It always happens when it's supposed to happen. Because the period that you feel ready and people are not acknowledging the material the way you feel like they should because it's good, is the time that you actually develop skin thick enough to survive when it does work. It never happens on your time. Like when you
y'all heard 50. Y'all heard what he said. So you might not be even physically. See, you might think you're ready based off of you believing that, oh no, I can do that. Oh no, I got that. That's nothing. You feel me? But that's just you hoping. That's not real readiness. Readiness is an energy that you just naturally exude. So some people might even believe they're ready for this YouTube thing. they don't understand that it's a different level of God and genius that you have to exude on a daily to bring forth this particular energy of YouTube. You see Red and Blue Pill in them, boy, every day they going live and shit. That's a different level of energy that you have to be able to be in creative mode all the time. It's not just us talking or whatever. We're not just talking. It's a level of clarity and channels and God that brings us into be able to recite or come through with, God energy, if you will. We was talking about Kai Cenat and speed and shit. Cause we was, I'll be watching all that shit. I'm watching all them young niggas, Drewski, all that shit, just to understand what's going on with their energy. And Kai, and I think Drewski, well, Kai for sure, he did the Grammys 2 weeks ago. He did the Grammys, the red carpet. Then he did the NFL flag football game, Kai versus Speed flag football day. Then he did the NBA, this all-star celebrity game yesterday. I said, oh, the boy, I said, hey, he collecting bags, trust and believe. He's not doing that for free. Them boys flying them out saying, hey, look, we're going to give you a bag. Here you go. So, and then Drewski said him and Kai got a movie coming out. I said, yeah, get it when you young, baby, because that energy, them niggas going to be retired at 40. How the trajectory they going, they 21. This nigga Speed already seen half of the world. This nigga 20. That's some rock star God shit for your ass, boy. These niggas must have been Egyptian princesses in this whole. They all over the world getting celebrated. I'm like, damn. I'm thinking to myself, how do they know you in Bangladesh? That nigga Speed walking around in a whole nother, in Serbia or something. Oh, speed. They can't even speak English. They say speed. I said, that's a drug for your ass. They on that speed for real. That kid got the world in an influx. Crazy. So yeah, 50 is dropping for real because that makes a lot of sense. Like you want to be able to understand that your time will come and your energy will just speak to that time based off of, you'll start moving in that direction and adventure easily and effortlessly. It's not going to be forced. This ain't no forced energy. This is you just moving based off of your spirit, putting you in a specific alignment where you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I can do that real quick, easy.
Right. The body loves for you to talk with it.
There she go.
But see, within your body, you have a universe, an entire universe. All the cells and the organs, they're all going about their own thing. Mm-hmm. But if you begin to talk to it, tell everybody how much you love it.
Yeah.
I love you, heart. I love you, liver. Tell it how much you love it. It loves that because somebody's paying attention to it. Mm. And when you speak to your own body, you are the voice of God to that universe within you, and it will listen to you. So people can do it themselves.
So That is beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, it's obvious, but it needs to be said. So, with that level of what you just said and the new earth that's rising, I see a beautiful world that's unfolding.
Yes.
Tell us what you see.
Well, I know it's there because it's time. The negative has been in the world for too long. We're moving away from it. We're moving into this beautiful new reality where anything is possible. You can have anything you want. We're leaving the negativity and the dark behind.
Right.
The body loves for you to talk.
Shout out to the canon. Yeah. You want to talk to your body, but more so you want to talk to yourself, your cells. So again, talking to yourself is you talking to God. I did a whole video on that back in the day. When you talk out loud to yourself, you're talking to God. So they created it in the form of prayer and stuff like that, like you're praying to some outside entity outside of yourself, but really you're just speaking to yourself, cells. That's God. Nigga, I was binging. I don't know why I was doing this. It was just yesterday. I'm sitting on the couch. It was middle of the day. Our kids was still at their grandma's house. I'm binge watching Joe Rogan and the moon and people going to the moon and shit. You feel me? Now we know the moon landing never happened and shit, but you know, like niggas can't even escape the Van Allen belt around the earth because that pressure is like, you know, it's real heavy heat or whatever. You feel me? So they was just dropping a whole bunch of facts about how we ain't never went to the moon and shit like that. And essentially, which I've been telling people, that is just a hologram of what's inside of you, the universe inside of you, where you're going to go to anyway in the quantum realm. When you transition, you're going to just die inwardly. So there ain't no going to that moon because that's just an emanation of a idea that's inside of you. So all the stars, all the planets and all the galaxies and stuff is just an idea of who you are in the grand scheme of things as a cosmic being that's beyond, but that's, you know, effervescent forever. You feel me? It's a never ending story with you. So now you want to understand that to the core, like there's no escaping Earth, right? The only way you escape is through death. And there definitely ain't no aliens coming out of the sky unless they're fourth dimensional beings. And you have to have your first eye open to see them. Because again, there's no third dimensional being that's going to come to Earth and say, look at me, it's fourth dimensional being past that Van Allen belt, which is the astral realms. So now all of a sudden, when we actually just look at it in a whole and say, oh, okay, well, fourth dimensional beings, right? Your dream world is really where you want to get heavy work in. Last night I had a powerful dream, and you know, it was one of those, I'm not gonna share it on here, but it was one of those that was, you know, like, oh, okay, yeah, it's time. And the dreams will just let you know, it's like a clue into what this third dimension is, basically, or how you're supposed to move next. But if you're not really in your dream space that heavy, then, you know, when you transition, you might get caught up in a confused state in the astral realms. And you don't want to be confused in the astral realms, imagining yourself walking alongside of a road and shit. Maybe pickup driving on the side of a road and shit, just based off of you being so confused of who you are. So you want to get privy with them dreams, that dream space, because again, once you do that, you'll bring your consciousness into that reality, and then eventually when that DMT floods, when your last ride goes, then you'll be able to come back into a complete awareness of how powerful you really are. So you're just moving from dimension. So this physical dimension is still particle and waves. So now you're just going to move into a higher wave or a higher vibration when you transition, which is no particles at all, just wave, which means you can manifest things faster. You feel me? In the fourth dimension. Yeah, that Joe Rogan, I don't know. I was just binging that shit. It kept on showing me it and the moons, and they was dropping them white boys. They don't play. They be dropping some real deep science on how we didn't know way possible we could have went to the moon. They said you would have to fill up 9 times gas stations, 9 gas. So you got to build stations before you even get to the moon. Then you don't even have the vehicle to get to the moon. Then if you touch the moon, there's so much chaotic stuff happening on the moon that you'll just cease to exist. So these boys, and we been knew that the moon landing was fake or whatever. But but watching that shit, it just reassures you like, hey, you niggas ain't escaping Earth like that. You feel me? Don't fake yourself out about that.
The ones that are blessed are the ones who are peaceful and meek and who actually arrive at the top chakra through the heart chakra and activate them. The third eye and the crown chakra. Good way to activate the chakras is to call their names. Starting from the bottom chakra, Lam, L-A-M. Then Vam, Ram, Yam, and then Hum. Then Om, and then silent. So Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Hum, Om, and silence, and those are the 7 chakras. So this is a way to activate them. Another way would be to chant the
mantras. Okay, so that's a good practice to have. Lam with your tongue at the roof of your mouth. Lam. This is when you're doing your root chakra, any chakra work, right? Bum. Yum. So all of those yums, lams, all of that. Visualize your root chakra, whatever chakra you're doing. Let's say the root chakra, which is lam. So you'll visualize a light spiraling around your waist area where your root chakra is at. And that light is essentially healing your root chakra. So your root chakra is the ground you walk on. And your ability to be solid on the earth. You feel me? So you don't feel, it's because it's based off of feelings, your emotions, energy, emotions. So then you don't feel no type of way about your home that you live in, the car that you drive, so on and so forth. You're comfortable in your skin. Your sin, which is your skin, so you're comfortable in the ground you walk on. So now, if you want to, and then things will naturally take care of itself, where you comfortable with the amount of money you make and how things come to you will start to get faster and faster based off of you being in that specific sphere of genius. So then when you're working on your root chakra, it's not about a logical thing, it's about a spiritual thing. So when you say long tongue to the roof of your mouth, right, to stimulate that pineal, long, breathe in through your nose, long, and then you visualize the light spiraling in your root chakra. Then essentially what's going to start to happen is you're going to be healing that area. And as you're healing that area, guess what? Remember, your chakras are energy, emotions, right? Energy, emotion. So now you're going to have to start having more motion, energy, emotion, where you don't feel whatever insecure, less than, whatever in your world. So now you'll be able to speak to the person you need to speak to, make that call that you need to make, take that class that you're supposed to take, based off of it's secure and balanced in that particular chakra. Yes, sir, family. Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. Motion Mondays, man. Shout out to the family. Shout out to the gods. Y'all know what it is. Tomorrow I'm going to do something. I don't know what it is. Spirit will bring me the information, the light. So stay tuned for that. Tuesday, 9:30 a.m. And then Wednesday, Patreon family, y'all know what it is. The book club, it go down. Hey, y'all like and share this thing up. Y'all know what it is, family. Peace to the gods.